Okay, this is a biggie. This is the Honda 6-cylinder CBX. See a few of these on the road now and again. Got an old gas pump there. This one looks futuristic. This one's a DKW, nicknamed the Tin Banana. And then moving up this side here, we have 1962 BMW. A Mako Typhoon. Never heard of that before. 2-stroke. Horex. NSU. These were like, these are from Germany, a lot of these bikes. There's a Victoria from 1954. That's an unusual bike. And an Alder. Again, another make that I've never heard of before. And this is a Bowser pump. It's got, you can see all the insides of it there. And going up to it, pace. Looking along the top shelf here, you've got a Hoffman. Again, another make that I've never heard of. An ABC. Never heard of that one. Kind of like a BMW design. And then we do have a BMW there. 1928. And then we have an engine there with all cut away, so you can see all the workings inside. One's really interesting, a Zundap 800cc. That's a big bike for 1938. Design's amazing. Looks like it's going fast and it's not even moving. Okay, so we've reached the other end of this hall now. So I'm just going to pan around here a little bit, show you what it looks like from the other end of the hall. We'll just have a quick walk down. It's like motorcycle heaven. At the end there, they got old oil cans on top of the cupboard there. Some names that never ever heard of before. So this is another area now of all trials bikes, scramblers of all different makes and models. From Greaves and James, which are well known, to Bultaco, Ariel, Honda, Cotton, DOT, Royal Enfield, Jawa, Matisse.
So yeah, I'm just going so careful because if you trip and you let the clutch go, I'm so careful. I'm used to that. When I go up there, I'll be open.
We have a pump here, so tall. Must be 8 foot in height. Just show you down inside. An old John Players sign.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another gas pump there. Looks like it was 2 shillings and 6p back in the day. Some more cans here. These are really rare cans. I mean, not when, never heard of it. Finer was a gas company that did petrol in England here. Okay, now we're in another part of the building. We've come back upstairs here. So there's the stairs. Come back up. They got like spark plugs, old pictures. Must have hundreds of engines of all different shapes, sizes. There's even cutaways of them. Shows you all the workings of the gearboxes. Little tiny pistons. I put my hand there, that's my finger. Tiny little pistons. As we walk up this side, these are all mostly cutaways of show you the workings inside. Looks like that one says it's from a cylinder head and barrel from an aircraft radial engine. It looks like that one had a major catastrophe. Look how damaged it is. It's really beat up there. Wow. That would have been a hell of a bang. There's a Triumph engine there, cutaway. Shows you all the workings of it. You can see the valves and the pistons. Right, we're walking down the middle here now. That's an unusual one, a Sun. Single cylinder, 600cc, just under. Unusual bike. A Quadrant. The oldest bike in the museum. This one's an 1898. But I did see an 1898 bike before, which looked more modern than this, to be honest. Got some old oil cans there, cylinder oil. An old heater, paraffin heater, and some kind of pump there, some wooden clogs. Okay, walking down here we have a Precision 1914. This is unusual too. And then next to it we have a 1939 Sunbeam. just wanted to show you this hall that we've come into now. This is all the bikes that we're going to go and look at. We've got aeroplanes hanging from the ceiling. So walking up this side, we have a Bruff Superior 1925. That's an early one. Wow, an Excelsior Silver Comet. That's unusual. The motor in that. Wow. And then there we go. That's a famous one too. The Henderson 4-cylinder. It's a nice bike. From 1926, that one. This is also one that is a very valuable bike, is a Pierce 4-cylinder. 1911. It's unbelievable, really. We saw that one back there that was 1898. And you've only got, what, I don't know, 13 years difference. And look at the progression in engineering. This is a Packer Special 1914. Another one, never heard of that make before. Well, this is a USA company. Now take a look at this one, Verdell. This one's a 5-cylinder radial engine in a motorcycle, 750cc. Okay, we're walking to another part here now. We've got an old aerial kind of transition of the motorcycle. Now that looks more like a motorcycle than that 1898, and that is only what, 5-6 years difference in engineering. So things moved pretty fast back in the day. 1955 aerial. There's an aerial Square 4, that's an early one, 1952. Another aerial there, 1916, 500. That's a good looking bike. Another aerial here, 1936. And there's another one. Obviously this is an aerial collection here. There's a Newham Square 4 there. That was a 1959. I believe that's probably the last year of the Square 4. And then these were, I've had a few of these. This is an aerial leader, a 2-stroke. That one's 1-all covered in. And then this one's the aerial Arrow, Golden Arrow, which was, they were great bikes. They're unusual, but great handling.
I probably shouldn't have got rid of it, but anyway.
I'm having to go back and forth to try and get everything in because there's so many rows of bikes here. The Bull Taco. So we'll walk up this row here. There's an OK Supreme. 1937, 250cc. A Rudge. 1938. Rex Acme, that's a good looking bike. 1929 V-twin, 750cc. Duzmo. A bit more precision. Get another bike I've never heard of. Triumph. 1927. Got a Levis here. 1937. And then the matchless Model X. These were a nice bike. V-twin. They use this motor in the Brough Superior, in some soft Brough Superior bikes. Old Sunbeam, 1939. And a Precision. Got an FN here, 1947. This one's very unusual, like the suspension at the front. Wow. Very strange. Some of the ideas that people came up with. Got a 1938 AJS. Another bike I've never heard of is a Hawthorne, a Haythorne, 1939 4-cylinder. Never heard of that before. It's a cool looking bike. (1938) Bianchi. Never heard of that. New Imperial, I have heard of that one. We have a Sunbeam here, 1933. Got a Rudge. And an Omega. Never heard of that. Coming up another row, we have a new Hudson. That's a pretty cool bike. A lot of the engine, apart from the barrel, is encased. That's really cool looking bike. Wow. 1932. Okay, we have a Matador here. Again, another bike I've never heard of. We got an old tax disc there. I guess it was on the road in 1978, but it's so clean. Another one here, New Hudson, 1928. Moving on up, OK Supreme. Nice colours in blue. I've seen a couple in blue, they look good. And to end this row here is a Montgomery. Never heard of that before either. Again, a lot of these motorcycle companies use Jap engines. We got one last one here on this. By itself is a Rally. They used to make bicycles. They were big in bicycles, but I guess they did make motorcycles back early on in 1926. That one. Okay, moving down this row, a 1920 Nut. It's a good name for a motorcycle. Might have been better nuts and bolts, but that's a cool looking bike. Wow, look at that. Just unbelievable. Okay. The BAT Roadster. Again, another V-twin. Nice. 1913. Another V-twin here. A Martin side. Never heard of that either. These I've never heard of, any of these bikes. So that's those three. They're wonderful. 1922 Sunbeam. It's an old Humber. Okay, there's another bike I've never heard of. OEC. It's an unusual bike. And another one next to it. A Monet Goyon. It sounds French. And this one I've never heard of. AER. That's cool. Twin cylinder. The way the exhausts come out of there. Another nice bike. A Douglas, heard of those. Douglas Firefly, that was quite a famous bike back in the day. That one's pretty original, doesn't look like it's had a lot of work done to it. Still has wear on the seat. The headlight is worn. It's got patina all over. Another Douglas here. Sunbeam. They were good looking bikes. Another Sunbeam here. This one's 1937. And an AJW. Looks good in red. And that is a 1936. Okay, going along the top shelf we have a 1911 Western Star. See, by 1911 they'd come on quite a bit, really. A 1920 Hawker. These makes I've never heard of. Cotton I hadn't until I've seen others in here. A Hawker. That's a good looking bike too, 1923. An old Humber, 1911. The V-twin, that's pretty cool. And a Douglas. Then we got old aircraft hanging from the ceiling. Here we have, this is a Levis, 1920, and then a new Imperial, also 1920. Got a Douglas. And that's an early Triumph, wow. That's a cool looking bike. Here's a 1955 Mondial Super Sport model. 200cc. 5-speed too. That was unusual for back then, most of them were 4. Motor Guzzi there. that's an unusual bike. Look at that. There's a 4-cylinder, and it's the cylinders are the way they're laid out are totally different to what anything I've seen before. It's a Moto Rumi 4-cylinder prototype. Wow. Okay, we got a 1967 50cc Ducati. So they did make small bikes. And there's another one, Ducati. That one's a 200. There's a Horex Porella, 1959. That's pretty sleek. Everything's encased. '59 item. We got another Ducati there. A Mondial. This one's a Galera Moto Marini. Wow, 350 V twin. It's got 3.5 on the side. Guzzi. That one's pretty cool. These are some Moto Rumi. Never heard of those either. There's a Benelli. That's a big bike, like a Honda. Yeah, Italy's answer to the Honda CBX. Wow, never seen one of those before. 6-cylinder. Another Benelli. That's a 4-cylinder. Wow, that's a small little bike. For a 4-cylinder, only 231 cc. Really, must be tiny little pistons in those. It's an MV Augusta. Another Benelli. These are all 50s bikes, these. That one's an unusual one. Caprilio Centro. Huh. Wow, that's unusual. That's 1954 Maserati, how's that? So if you bought that, you could tell people you've got a Maserati, but don't show them it's a bike.